Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Wilaya of Saham wins gold in the Horse and Camel Al Arda Run Festival. Donald Trump takes the oath as the 45th President of the United States of America. And the Turkish Parliament approves the new 18-article constitution to expand the powers of the President. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in detail. Activities of the 17th Al Nuaimi Festival for Horses and Camel Al Arda running were concluded in the camel race ground in Sai Al Taibat in the Wilaya of Saham. The Wilaya of Saham was crowned gold as the best Wilaya organized this event, while the Wilaya of Suwayk came second. His Highness Sheikh Humaid bin Rashid Al Nuaimi, member of the UAE Supreme Council and ruler of Ajman, presided over the conclusion ceremony. The festival included various horse displays, and some traditional arts were performed, such as Al-Hamal and Al-Tahrud. The participants from the Wilayas of North Batna took part in the event to express that such activities encourage them to take more care about this sport. Matches of the preliminary round of the Military World Cup Football Championship game will be concluded today. 4 matches will be played this evening in the Governorate of Muscat. Qatar will play Mali, the United States with Ireland, Syria with Egypt, and Poland versus Canada. It is worth mentioning that Omani military national team qualified to the next round after it defeated the French team 3-2. More than 17 scientific work papers were discussed in the Omani-French Scientific Forum for Ear, Nose and Throat (ENT) in the Governorate of Muscat. At the start of the program, the forum disclosed the success achieved by the health sector in the Sultanate through conducting a number of cochlear implant surgeries, which began in 2000, in a step that ended the suffering of many patients. The forum witnessed the participation of more than 100 specialists from different health institutions and medical institutes from the Sultanate and from France. It also discussed a number of scientific and research papers that will contribute to enable the attendees to get acquainted with development in these fields, namely disorders relating to the ear and the future of deaf people, particularly with development of methods of early diagnosis and treatment, besides other topics which formed an important scientific subjects for researchers. The Industry and Service Sector Index in Muscat Security Market, MSM, recorded an increase during the last week as follows. The industry sector added 20 points to close at 7,465 points. The service sector added 10 points to close at 3,003 points. The increase in these sectors came supported by the increase in the shares of a number of companies enlisted in Muscat Security Market. The market value of legal instruments and bonds in Muscat Security Market, MSM, rose by the end of 2016 to reach 2.2 billion Omani rials. The statistics show that the number of circulated legal instruments and bonds reached 92,800,000, and their value exceeded 13 million rials. Still to come in our news bulletin. A European tour, including a performance at the World Economic Forum in Davos, is this year's highlight for Afghanistan's only all-female orchestra. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Donald Trump took the oath of office yesterday to become the 45th President of the United States of America in a ceremony held on the west front of the Capitol in Washington, D.C. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai.
Donald J. Trump was sworn in as the 45th President of the United States of America, telling he will pursue America First policies at home and abroad. The 70-year-old Republican billionaire placed his left hand on a Bible issued by Abraham Lincoln and recited the 35-word oath spoken since George Washington, and then launched into a much-anticipated inaugural address. A crowd of hundreds of thousands looked on, including outgoing President Barack Obama and Trump's election opponent Hillary Clinton, with other previous U.S. presidents.
My name is Lauren. I'm from the United States. I've just completed my master's degree in Islamic Studies in Edinburgh, and I'm here visiting Oman during the time of Donald Trump's inauguration. Regardless of the things that he said, I hope that relationship between the Middle East and America will continue to improve because we all need each other.
In his speech, Donald Trump said, "We, the citizens of America, are now joined in a great national effort to rebuild our country and restore its promise for all of our people," Trump told a crowd of hundreds of thousands massed on the National Mall. "Together, we will determine the course of America and the world for many, many years to come."
We, the citizens of America, are now joined in a great national effort to rebuild our country and restore its promise for all of our people. Together, we will determine the course of America and the world for many, many years to come. We will face challenges. We will confront hardships, but we will get the job done.
Mr. Trump arrives untested in both politics and the military, unprecedented for a U.S. president. His team insists he will hit the ground running, repealing a string of Barack Obama's regulations on his first day and implementing a 100-day plan to keep up momentum.
I'm visiting Oman from Scotland in the United Kingdom. At the moment, Donald Trump is being inaugurated as president in the United States. We're hopeful in the United Kingdom, as Donald Trump is very business-minded, that relationships with the United Kingdom, the Middle East and all over the world will grow better, and we can all get along together and make money in business.
Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television.
Turkey is headed for a referendum this year on whether to dramatically expand the powers of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan after Parliament backed the changes earlier today. Parliament approved a new 18-article constitution, which includes the presidency changes, in a final vote with 339 approving and 142 MPs voting against the bill. Immediately after the bill was approved, Prime Minister Binali Yildirim said the last word would be from the people in a referendum, expected to be held in April. The bill would create an executive presidency for the first time in modern Turkey and give the president the power to appoint and fire ministers. In addition, the post of prime minister will be abolished for the first time in the country's history and replaced by a vice president or perhaps several. An explosion in a busy vegetable market killed at least 21 people today in Pakistan's remote northwestern tribal region, wounding around 40 more. Officials said they believe a homemade bomb had been planted in a pile of tomatoes and exploded as people gathered in the market in Parachinar's Kumar's main town earlier this morning. Taliban militants have been active around Parachinar in the past, and the town has also suffered sectarian tension between the two communities. Pakistan military said army helicopters had been dispatched to evacuate the wounded. A bus carrying Hungarian school students home from a skiing trip to France slammed into a highway barrier in northern Italy. It caught fire, killing at least 16 people. 39 people survived, though some seriously injured. No other vehicles were involved in the crash, and it wasn't clear why the bus hit the overpass support column on the highway near Verona just before midnight. Hungarian Foreign Minister Szijjártó told reporters in Budapest that the bus driver lost control of the vehicle. which hit a guardrail and then the overpass support before it caught fire. Investigators have found no brake marks at the scene. A Slovenian truck driver who was traveling behind the bus had noticed a problem with one of the bus wheels and tried to alert the driver, but the driver didn't react quickly enough. In the face of death threats and accusations, they are dishonoring their families by daring to perform. The women of Afghan's first all-female orchestra are charting a new destiny for themselves through music. Here is a report.
They've done it the hard way. Zora is Afghanistan's only all-female orchestra. Led by conductor Najina Palvak, these young women, many from the poorest families, have overcome death threats and discrimination in this deeply conservative country to play together.
Without my father and my mother, like my other family member, they're also like this. They didn't let me to come in the music school. My uncles make a lot of problems for me. Like my grandmother said to my father that if you let Nigin to go to music school, so after that you are not my son anymore.
Afghanistan has been plagued by decades of conflict. The head of the nation's music institute, Ahmed Samast, has first-hand experience. He was injured in a deadly Taliban attack in 2014.
Afghanistan is closely associated outside Afghanistan with Kalashnikov, Bukra, violence against women, suicide bombing. But it's not all about Afghanistan, and it's not every Afghan is not a member of the Taliban movement, or every member of the Afghan society is not violating the human rights of the women of Afghanistan.
The 35-strong ensemble plays traditional Afghan as well as Western classical music. Violinist Zarifa Adiba wants to be at the forefront of change in her country.
I'm so happy that the generation, my generation, they are trying to get education, they are trying to do something better for our country. So that's why I think we are going to change, but it's hard. It will take a generation to change it.
A European tour, including a performance at the World Economic Forum in Davos, is this year's highlight. With Zora's members hoping they can help alter attitudes both abroad and at home.
Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of scattered rainfall over the governorates of Muscat, North and South Batna and South Sharqiya. Winds will be easterly to southeasterly light to moderate, occasionally active over the coastal areas. Seas will be moderate with a maximum wave height of 2 meters. Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Wilaya of Sahang wins gold in the Horse and Camel Al Arda Run Festival. Donald Trump takes the oath as the 45th President of the United States of America. And the Turkish Parliament approves a new 18-article constitution to expand the powers of the President. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsrooms and the studio, it's good night.